join us for another episode where real men have real conversations about leadership, relationships, morality, and dominion. Welcome to Mancode.
Hey viewing audience, my name is Jonathan Russell, and I'd like to welcome you back to the Mancode conversation.
But so let's say this. Let's keep going with this. So, in the context of the relationship, should I be the only one looking to establish boundaries in that friend zone? Should it only be me? Where's their place in this? What's their part?
I would say no. I think you both have to share your ideas and share your thoughts on the relationship, and they should be open thoughts for both sides, for open dialogue, having the conversation, if you even ask, well, why do you feel that way, and go from there, but I think it should be both sides.
I agree with Elder Fan. Even as hard as I am, I'm not going to expect you to do something that I wouldn't do. If I don't want you to have a best friend, I'm not going to have a best friend. You see what I'm saying? I just, hey, you just me and you exclusive and so forth. Hey, keep it moving and so forth. So yeah, cause I just, like I say, and maybe I'm jaded. Maybe my past relationships too. And like I say, maybe I'm scarred in that area. I don't know. But I'm just kind of being a little bit light right now. But truthfully, though, I still feel that way. And I like all you guys' perspectives. At the end of the day, if you're comfortable with it, she's comfortable with it, I think it's okay. But I just believe experience will tell you that leaves that doorway too open. When something hit the fan, that best friend, well, why don't you let's talk about a little bit, and especially if he doesn't have anybody, and he's been like you, from a long time, what I'm saying, you never know what might happen, and it's just it can be a sticky situation sometimes.
Real quick, that statement reminded me of the glass case and the hammer. All right, move on.
What case and the what?
Hammer.
The glass case and the hammer, breaking case of emergency. Oh, move on.
I think it would be my responsibility to communicate any discomforts to her, and it would be her responsibility to let her best friend know, like, hey, like, we're gonna have to move different, right? And if she does that, then I know that, like, all right, cool, she willing to, like, minimize this friendship to make sure that we good and we comfortable and everything. But if she hit me with that's my best friend, we've known each other since 3rd grade, and start defending him versus, like, acknowledging how I feel, then I'm like, all right, I'm out. I see where your priorities are. So
I agree with that one. I like that.
Now, I look at it like this. If she's not willing to establish boundaries with you, you gotta go. It's time for you to bounce. Because that shows you right there that, number one, y'all don't have unity at this stage of the relationship. And she's not willing to work toward it being more mature than what it is. So, yeah, that's just my take on that. But yeah, I would say it's time for you to leave. Find you a new situation. But let's go deeper in. Would it be acceptable for you? Okay, you hit on this mildly past model, so we're gonna really dig in. Would it be acceptable for you to have your girlfriend or wife be close friends with her ex?
Oh no, not at all. I mean, you may have, like I say, if you get kids together, no. I mean, you can be cordial, but you're not gonna be doing too much texting and happy birthday and happy Father's Day. No. When you see the kids, we happen to end up at a recital together or something for the grandkids, you can speak and maybe get a church hug, but all that other stuff. I'm not no insecure person, but believe me, I just man, some of that stuff is just unnecessary. Some of that stuff is uncalled for. No, man, you had a good run. That's over, and that's me. You see, because I'm not gonna be going up to my exes and all that stuff. And all that type of thing, because I wouldn't want her uncomfortable either. Because I mean, uh, I'm trying to keep it down. I mean, because some of these women, they still may have some attachments. You see, you know how it is. You know, it's been 20 years, but they still feeling the boy. You know, no, I'm just kidding. Now. But no, see, so you have to be careful. I'm just trying to keep it light a little bit, but you have to be careful with that. I just believe, you know, we've had our time together. If we have kids, we can be respectable, come together, and be amicable, but nothing over the top conversation. Don't keep it too long. You know, let your good not be evil spoken of, because that can be taken wrong. Man, I saw him over there. Man, they was just talking. He talked to her more than he did his wife tonight. You know what I'm saying? You know, people talk, but you know, you just don't want to give. You just have to be wise. As somebody said, wise as a serpent, harmless as a dove. You know, but if you guys got any wisdom for me, man, I'm open to it, man. I can receive some great wisdom now.
I'm rocking with you on this one, Pastor Malcolm. No exes, no exes at all. Like that's a no. I don't care how long ago it was.
I guess I'll be the third one to make a straight line. I say no to exes also. X is for just for that, excused. You've been excused. Your services are no longer needed.
What's the difference between an ex and a friend? Maybe the ex was there longer than the friend. Maybe the friend was longer than the ex.
Huge difference.
Big difference.
Okay. There's some history
Yeah,
there.
and I could point out a few. It's the relationship itself.
Yeah.
You know, ex, you know, you have been in a lot of different situations with that person. But a friend, you know, certain things aren't exclusive, you know, you're exclusive, you know.
Certain things you ain't been in.
Yeah. I think an ex is almost like your first love. And I think anything that's been identified as first love or ex spouse needs to be X'd out, because it only takes you to be in a bad situation in your current situation, and if you leave those things open, you could even go searching.
Now, what if the ex is in a committed relationship themselves?
What's that?
What if the ex is in a committed relationship themselves?
Still a no, because you're putting that ex in jeopardy.
Yeah, I think that's still a no.
There's nothing good.
I agree with y'all.
Nothing good could come out of it.
Yeah, no, I have to agree with y'all. Because I agree, flags all around. And again, you don't know what ties may still remain. And you also have to question why, if you're really done with this person and ready to move on with me, why do you still need to hold on to them? It'd be no different if it was us. You know, you think your lady will take that? Like who? Oh, that's you know, that's my ex. You know, we just cool. You know, we built this great, you know, friendship. You know, after you know our split and everything like that. You know, we just came to an understanding. She ain't having that. So again, I think that flies both ways.
All right,
it can really cause a hole in your relationship.
Playing Divine's advocate. I don't want to say devil, but playing Divine's advocate. All right. Say like, you know, we're in our 50s, right? And we meet each other. We get married later in life, and she has an ex from, let's say, 30 years ago, who helped her get through like one of the deepest, darkest phases in her life, right? And they've been like cool ever since because of that. 30 years later, after all that happened, is it still a no for her to have a relationship with that guy?
Is she in a relationship with somebody?
No, she's not. She's not. So 30 years ago, she dated somebody and he helped her get through a really like dark season in her life. And they've been great friends since, because like it meant a lot for her. It meant a lot to her for him to help her get through that phase. Fast forward 30 years, now you're getting ready to marry her, and she tells you about this guy who's an ex, but that was 30 years ago, and I ain't interested in dating him, but we're still really good friends because he helped me get through this dark place in life.
That's still the same situation. To me,
it's still I would refer to Ecclesiastics. There's a time, and it's a time to move on.
Well, you know what? Go ahead, Jonathan. I want to hear what you got to say. No. What I would say, hey, big fella. You know, I appreciate the run that you had. You know, and so forth, and getting her through this tough season. But like I say, it's time for the handoff. And, you know, like I say, hey, big fella's in town now, so she's in good hands, like Allstate, you know. So, hey, and we'll catch you down the road, man. You know, if we see you, we see you. If we don't, but it's not going to be that type of, you know, no, man. And but see, she would have to know before I come in the relationship, because I would let her know how I'm about all that stuff before we even get to, hey, this is how I am. Now you have a decision to make. You know, if you can't live with that, that's something that you just have to let me know now, and maybe I'll just keep it moving. You see, but I wouldn't spring it on after we walk down the aisle. You know, I'm not going to have to cancel. I'm canceling anybody out at that point. It's going to be all up front. You know.
Yeah.
And it's not because of insecurity. I've just seen too much stuff happen.
They remove all temptations.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
see that spin in a couple ways. Now, I have to ask you this, Austin, in your scenario. It's been 30 years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I've been seeing this lady for an extended amount of time, and this person never came up, never not a mention of it, I can't think it's that serious. I can't think it's that where they talking every day, maybe every couple of weeks, you know. So I can't really even see it, especially if it never crosses. And it's like, hey, I'm friends with them, you know, but we're not like linked like that. We're not like best friends, ace booms, you know, always trying to. No, we're not taking vacations together. And you know, I guess when I look at it in that context, I look at how close is that. Even though yes, they have that connection, but is it there a continued closeness? Or has there been some time and distance to balance all this out? So I don't know. I guess you could look at that a little bit different too.
Yeah. So if there wasn't continued closeness, then you would be okay with him still being a friend.
Yeah,
Like
because
check up on each other once or twice a year.
that ain't gonna hurt me. That ain't doing nothing to me. Now, if she says something like, "I'm going to visit my friend out of town and don't invite me along," we may have a conversation. Or I just may have to pop up on a separate flight and see what's up for myself. But I'm just saying, either way, that's a different situation. But we'll let
Yeah,
that's a good one. I like that.
Beyond the may. It's beyond the may. It's not, we may have a conversation. We're having one. We're having the conversation.
I feel because you want everything out in the open. And that's the biggest thing. I'm just YouTube audience. Keep everything in the open. Don't be one of the backdoor people waiting to see how far things go before you disclose. Trust me, by the time I'm gonna say this, I speak from experience. Sometimes by the time you wait to disclose some things, you waited so long that you just destroyed it because you just thrown away all the trust somebody may have had in you. So, all right, I'm done sidebar. Let's keep on with this.
Good.
Now, this is a personal feeling of mine. Y'all could agree or disagree. I think most of y'all may agree. But I think married couples should take time and develop being each other's best friend. Now, could a friend of the opposite sex unknowingly be an obstacle to that?
Think so.
I would agree with that.
I just feel like there could be instances where, and it could be unintentional as well, but there could be instances where, you know, either the wife or the husband talks to their friend about something that they hadn't even talked to their wives about yet, or their husband about. And so it would create like, oh, you went to him or her first, but you didn't come to me. Like what's up? Why are you prioritizing that particular topic with them and not me? And it could have been an unintentional thing. It could have been they happened to call in the moment right after something happened, or they ran into him in the grocery store right after something happened. And it's like, oh, I got a raise at work, right? And the best friend knows before the spouse, then it's like, you know, that's not okay. That's not okay. And my thing is, in a situation like that, just wait till you get home and tell whatever information, and like, you know, your spouse should definitely be the first person to know whatever happens.
And I want to give you an example. Go ahead, Danielle.
Go ahead, Pastor Malcolm.
Now, this is going to, not to get off your question a bit, Jonathan, but I'm going to give you an example that even in the church, sometimes, you know, it's like this, more so, yeah, with men too. Let's say, for example, you got a pastor in the church, and, you know, our pastor talks about this all the time, and you got women talking about the pastor more than you're talking about you. Same type of thing. You know, the pastor probably not even thinking about you potentially. But my problem is certain things can cause problems. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to come home. hear about you talking about another man, and you talking about the past and all this and all that, and you ain't even give me you haven't affirmed me in 2 or 3 weeks. I'm not trying to hear that. I'm that type that if you're going to praise anybody outside the Lord, it's going to have to be me. You see what I'm saying? I just want to put all things first, man. I'm just trying to keep it real, man, because I'm not going to be saying how good some woman looking at telling you how good, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even do that. You see, that gets people in trouble. You giving everybody else all this, this and that, and you're not, giving it at home. But to get back to the question that, yeah, in my understanding, I've seen it happen too much, man. I've just seen it happen, and that's probably why I'm so straight line on it. But you guys make some great points, and like I say, and those are valid points, and so I'm not disapproving of it. I'm just kind of speaking from my perspective. If somebody were to ask me, I would just probably say, hey man, just be careful, make sure you got understanding, as Brother Johnson said, make sure you guys are open and honest, and put all the things out front so that if anything does occur, you guys are both aware of it. Don't share a secret with this person that you don't share with me. Don't talk about our business at home, this type of thing. There has to be rules, boundaries, and so forth. And if you set those boundaries, if they're adhered to, I'm sure it could work, because my position on it is not a, one thing fits all. You guys have some great perspectives, and I'm sure they work for a lot of people.
So I think when we talk about this, there are a lot of nuances, in what we're saying. And sometimes we try to paint these things with a broad stroke. But just digging into it a little bit, a friendship is a friendship, whether it's male or female, because it's like when Pastor said, the truth is a truth. A truth is a truth no matter what category you put it in. That makes it a truth. So if it was situational, like it's just with this particular male or this particular female, then that would be an issue. But if it's my friend, it's a person, like you made a point earlier, like we've been friends since we were little, and so there's a level of intimacy and confiding in one another that has been developed over the years that you haven't built up in your new relationship. So there's a level of trust that you haven't earned that person already has in the bank. So when a person goes and confides in somebody, it's because they've already built up this trust that I can confide in that, and that person is not going to judge me. It's the same thing. You don't go to all your friends and share your business with all your friends. I know personally, I talk to some of my friends about finance. Some of my friends, I talk to them about business ventures. Some of my friends, I talk to them about spiritual things, but I don't talk to all 4 of my friends about the same things. I have different relationships with different individuals. And so when it comes to your male friend, and if she has a male friend and he's been a confidant, let's say he's been that for her, like I said, he's been through all the bad relationships. He's been there to pick her up when she has fallen down. He's been that person. Then she may be sharing things with him that he hasn't. I'm not saying that she shouldn't share it with you, but you shouldn't find it odd that she has done it because of the length and the depth of that relationship. Now you should monitor it, and you should definitely say, hey, I want to be that for you, so you don't have to go to that person, but you're going to build that relationship and that level of trust with her so that she can come to you, that you are open to her. But if you slam those doors of making her feel like she can't go to a safe place because you are feeling a little awkward or you feeling a little inadequate, then you're going to push that trust factor further down the road. It's some inner work that we're going to have to do, and there's some relationship work that's going to have to happen, but it's not going to happen with a broad stroke of just saying, hey, don't go to him no more, come to me. That's just going to shut that door. And it's just only going to, after you said that, then she's going to call him up and was like, I can't believe what he said to me. She's going to go immediately back to him and tell him exactly what you had just said, because that's where her trust is. That's where her peace is. That's where her safety is. And you're doing a transfer. We're not talking marriage. If we're talking marriage, then you definitely need to work that out doing premarital counseling. But you're talking about dating, that process. Matter of fact, truthfully, as dating, you shouldn't even be acting like you should have all that trust. You just coming into this woman's life. You're not even being forthcoming with everything that's going on in your life. Just being real. Men are some of the most reserved, most lock mouth, individuals when it comes to sharing things that is going on with their heart. You ain't out there just opening the door and sharing all your stuff. So I'm just saying that. I'm just putting that out there.
Make a
All
good
right.
point.
All
Your
right.
audience, Danielle being too honest.
You said some good stuff there, but I'm still in the mindset, like you said, I understand what you're saying, but she wants that safe place. But I'm not saying this would have to take place in the first week of our seeing one another, that you're going to have to cut it off. But somewhere, in there, it's not going to be too long before, like, look, hey, all that, and this is just my particular situation. All that will be discussed and all that. Hey, not an insecure dude, but this is my position on it. And see what they think. But you make some good points. I understand. Like you said, you don't have that trust, you don't have that bank account built up in that area. But at the end of the day, it depends on who you are.
Yeah.
So
I think we all want to get there, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we ever want to just settle for it not to be that. But I'm just saying that we're working towards that. That's what that intimacy in that relationship is about. Building that trust in that, and taking time to do that kind of work.
I hear what you're saying, but I usually just don't take a 40-year trip for 11-day journey. I'm gonna get there, man. I respect your position, but man, I'm cutting to the chase. Look, Johnny has to go. Give him his severance pay, whatever it is. But now, this is where we at. But do it with wisdom. And do it.
I'm just saying, compliance doesn't always mean willing.
Exactly. I got you. I'm tracking. Yeah. I'm tracking with you.
Yeah, I guess if you are working towards that place and like y'all really do want to be together, then I feel like it's on her to be proactive and kind of dwindle down the communication with said guy and go talk to your mom, one of your homegirls, your dad, some ladies at the church, and you gotta start doing the pre-work to minimize that friendship and how much you share with that person. And like y'all, I think like y'all said, like, if that's best friend and he has the best interest at heart, then he would be understanding of that. But if not, like me, I don't know if I would be willing to like Pastor Malcolm said, put in that work to get to that place to where she trusts me over my man's. But if that is the case, then it's like she has to do some work on the front end as well.
Well, let me add another piece to the puzzle toward the end. And I know we probably won't have enough time to get this discussion out, but what if it's in reverse? You have your best friend, someone that's been with you through the trenches, and then she comes up and tells you, you need to leave him alone. How do you handle that situation? Does she need to tell you why? He may have been looking at her in a different way. He may have said something in a different way. But this is your guy that you guys been through thick and thin with.
Oh, so one of my boys? So one of my boys?
Yeah, one of your boys. Yeah, just
Oh.
pushing the roles around. It's been, what do we do with her? Like, how do we handle that situation?
I really want to find out why. Did he
Yeah.
make did my man make a pass at you? What are you picking up on? What are you
Just something,
sensing?
it's just, we're not vibing. There's something there. I can't speak on it right now, but it's just something there.
See, that's
Is
why
that
I
the
want
same
to
situation?
have that in-depth conversation with her, just because.
But if you love me and you're trying to,
I'm not saying I wouldn't. I'm not saying I wouldn't have any
you
compromise.
gotta hear me.
I would definitely.
Is that the same situation? You mean, so she wants you to let your best girl that you
best guy friend.
Best,
Guy
your
friend.
day one.
Oh.
Your day one.
What?
Like I said,
I mean,
I would have to know why. I'm be honest.
Yeah.
Because to me, let me put it like this. If neither one of us has ever shown you a homosexual tendency, and I'm not taking time away from you, our friendship is not stepping on boundaries with us, I really want to know why. Because I just want to know, is it just simple jealousy? Is it a control issue? I've been through that before too. So that's what I'm saying. That's something you really got to peel back. Because there are some people that are very controlling that don't want you to have any friends. They just want to be just all in your face. So
no, I'm not letting my that's now if I had a girl, but you guys talk about a guy.
I ain't saying you
it's different now.
It's attempted to happen.
Yeah.
So
If my best friends are trying to come on her or something, that's a different story. But just because I got a homie we go back 50 years, no. I mean,
I think
I'm not.
Yeah, I think like Jonathan said, you got to understand why, because I think there could be factors why she feels that way that we can't see, right? Because that's our boy. He's been that way since we were friends, so he's always like, anytime a woman walk by, like, bro, she got a big booty, bro, like always making comments like that, or always reminding your girl how you used to be. Like, oh man, he like got himself all the way together for you. Because I remember when he was like constantly reminding her of who you used to be, or like even if y'all together and he doesn't value a relationship or a marriage, and he still wants you to do the same stuff that y'all were doing when y'all were both single, then I could be like, you know what, babe, you're right. You know, maybe like before I drop it off, I'm gonna have a conversation with my boy and say, look, bro, like we've been friends for 30 years, 15 years. Who I was 5 years ago is not the same person. I can't do the same stuff that we used to do. And I hope you can respect that, because I value our brotherhood and I want to keep it. But if not, like, you know, we're going to have to move different. So like Jonathan said, I think you got to understand why she feels that way.
I've actually had those conversations. Like I've even told my brothers, like, look, don't come to my house with no drama. You know, if you get into a fight with your wife, don't come to my house. If you come to my house with your bags, I'm going to give you some money for you to get a hotel room and tell you to go back home. I think Austin is on that point, and I agree with Pastor Elder Fant, because it was like before he said it, I was actually thinking the same thing. I said, and that's why I was saying that it doesn't. We try to make gender the factor. Gender is not the factor. Relationship is really the factor. You know, we made, because it was a male on a female side. For you were pushing that like, okay, that's two dudes in one relationship, that ain't gonna work. But having your boys is the same thing. If you got boys like, you know, always saying like, man, you whip, man, you got the ball and chain, man, you can't come out with the boys. You used to come out with the boys all the time. You can't, you know, that pulls and tugs on you and actually affects your relationship dynamic. And those are your boys, those are your friends, to Austin's point. And so it's like, but it's up to you as that person in that relationship with those dudes. Like, look, man, y'all gonna have to squash that. You're gonna have to stand up for your relationship and tell them where you are in that relationship if you really value the relationship. And I think so you don't even have to worry about her saying anything. You should identify that I'm in a relationship, and you should realize that that's a pull. We know it's a pull. We hear that mess. We know how it pulls on us. We know how, like, man, I don't want to be looking bad in front of my boys. So then you start trying to do stupid stuff in your relationship that jacks up your relationship, and then push you with the boys, and then they be like, man, I don't even know why you listening to us, man. We all out here, you know. So it's like you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I see what y'all saying now. But like I say, if yeah, from that standpoint, because I'm gonna cut that stuff off. My girl wouldn't have tell me this. If they come with a foul vibe, I'm gonna pick that up. Look, man, you out of order, man. You know, because your wife, your girl, she's got to, you know, be number one. I'm not gonna let you come with this crazy stuff, but it's just a straight up. If you in your right lane, the right pocket, and all that, yeah, man. I mean, you know, you have to have a legitimate reason for me to cut it off. But just this, if everything is up above board, just because, like you say, hey, I want you to let this cat go, and there's nothing wrong. But yeah, that stuff, that's grounds for, hey, man, you know, you got to tighten some things up. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah, and I think that's.
She might want you to cut him off because she might be attracted to him.
Another point.
Hey, just playing Divine's advocate.
No, that's a good one. No, that's a good way to look at it.
Divine in trouble.
Well, I'm like this. You know, if I lost, man. You know, at the end of the day, if I can't keep you happy, and if I love you, I want you happy. You see.
I agree. I've said that in every relationship. I was like, I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm not trying to keep anybody.
Right.
You know, right. So the point that you don't want to be in this relationship, just let me know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I came looking. I'll have to leave looking.
Got to work on both ends of the fence.
Yeah.
But let's
You know?
wrap it up with this.
All right.
Let's say a couple does have a best friend of the opposite sex, and it is kind of getting in the way of their relationship flourishing as far as them being friends, them having that shared closeness, and really you're going to the next level. How can they resolve that?
I think what we talked about, what I heard, the dialogue, having a dialogue, what's the concerns? Opening up the table, putting everything on the table and sorting through it. What's the problem? This is it, you know. Let's pick each piece apart and find out what's really what's really there.
Yeah. And I don't think it's always necessarily choose me. Don't go and tell him or her something that's going on with you. I think also the other person has to look within and say, when somebody shares something that's tough to share, or when somebody is being vulnerable, how do I react to what they're sharing? And so I think that's something that, you got to be mindful of too, is like making sure that, it's like, I want to be your best friend, but when I am sharing something with you, you have to be like respectful and receptive to however I feel about it. And if you always, being an antagonist or turning around and blaming something, it's like, I'm gonna shut down. I'm gonna shut down from saying something to you. So it's multiple factors that goes into it. But like, I mean, the biggest theme is just have that conversation and as to like why I'm not your best friend and what we need to do to get to being in that space of best friends.
I agree. Just communication, see what I can do, what do I need to do, and find out what are your needs are, how I'm not meeting them. Just communication, put it out there and say, hey, let her know that you love her and you want this thing to work out, and I'm willing to make some concessions, make some changes I need to, within reason and all that type of thing. And just let her know that you want to work this thing out, and you're open.
Yeah, I think what my thing is that, and I think I mentioned this before, get conversational games that promote intimacy in the sense of asking questions that provoke you to answer questions that you wouldn't normally answer. And make it a date night, or make it a timeout, because one thing we don't typically do in relationships is practice intimacy. We take the word intimacy and equate intimacy to sex. And so we say, let's get intimate. It's always equated to sex, especially when men are saying it. Women are saying it usually is related to conversations, cuddling, or something in that space. So I would say that if we're looking for it, and I said putting the work in, this is what I mean, is getting conversational cards that, you take 5 cards, and you read the card and you ask the question, because the question prompts questions that you wouldn't ask, nor would you answer in a normal situation. But after playing the game, you will have learned more and gained more of intimacy with one another. I think the intentionality of getting close is something that everybody needs to keep in mind.
Well said. Well said.
I like this. Definitely well said. Because the main key here, all the gentlemen point out, is communication. You have to build it. Just like any friendship, you have to take time and actually develop the steps to build it and build it into strength. You have to do the same thing with your marriage. I think all couples should, number one, go in as friends. And if you're not already friends, start developing that. And if there's a person in the way of blocking you from being a friend, weigh it up. What's more important to you? Your marriage or your friendship? You committed your life to this person. This person's just been your sidekick. So again, it's a matter of perspective, but I think at the end of the day, let's all be responsible and look at what's more important in our lives. So y'all gave some great wisdom tonight. Yeah, I'm learning some things about y'all. I'm digging this too. But viewers, this has been a great topic, great conversation. So keep this going. Ask us at work. Ask us at home. Ask us around your friends. Keep the conversation going, because we want to hear from you. And if there's anything that you want us to drop a dime on, we want you to put that in the comments and let us know as well. Mancode's always open. We want to keep conversation fluid, that it will get out there and help somebody. But until we get back again to rap, kick it, and just break down some more walls, like, subscribe, and share. Get this out there. Let somebody be affected in a positive way by the Man Code. We will see you soon. Appreciate you tuning in. Keep the Man Code.